Somebody lied to you about buying a home. And the worst part, you probably heard it from someone you trust. Well, today, I'm going to tell you exactly what the lie is and what the truth actually looks like. I talk to first-time homebuyers every single week, and almost every one of them comes to me carrying the same story. It sounds like this: I'm not ready. I don't make enough money. My credit is not good enough. I need to save more money first. I need to wait until things settle down. Those feelings are real, but the story behind them, a lot of it is not true. I had a client, a single mom, 2 kids, working a nursing job, who told me flat out she was going to wait 2 more years before even starting the process. She thought she needed $30,000 saved before she could have a conversation with a lender. She had been told that, flat out told that, by someone who meant well. She didn't need $30,000. She closed on her home in 4 months with far less than that. The lie almost cost her 2 years of equity and 2 years of her children having a place that they could call their own. The average first-time buyer carries over $30,000 in student loan debt, and many of them still qualify. Debt is not the disqualifier most people think it is. Today, I'm going to break down the biggest lie first-time homebuyers believe, where it comes from, and what the truth actually looks like, so you can stop waiting for something that is already within reach. So, what is the lie? It is this: you need to have everything figured out before you could buy a home. More specifically, the lie shows up in 4 ways. 1, you need a 20% down payment. 2, your credit has to be perfect. Number 3, you need to be completely debt-free first. And number 4, now is a bad time to buy. Every one of these feels true. Every one of them gets passed around like they're fact. And every single one of them is keeping families and people just like you in apartments they've outgrown, paying rent that builds someone else's wealth. Before I break each one down, I want you to understand where this comes from, because it is not coming from people who want to hurt you. Most of the time, it comes from parents or grandparents who bought in the 70s and the 80s. The rules were stricter back then. 20% down was the standard. Credit requirements were tighter. That was just how it worked back then. So when they tell you what they know, they are telling you the truth, their truth, from 40, 50 years ago. Sometimes it comes from a friend who had a hard or a tough experience, or a news headline designed to scare you, or just a general feeling that home ownership is for other people, not people like you. And when you hear it enough times, you stop questioning it, you just wait. Well, today we stop waiting. So let's get through each one. Lie number 1, you need 20% down. This is the biggest one, and it is simply not true for most buyers today. Conventional loans allow for as little as 3% down. FHA loans allow 3.5%. VA loans, if you are a spouse or if you served, can be 0 down. And USDA loans in certain areas offer a 0 down payment as well. And on top of that, there are down payment assistance programs in most states that can cover a large portion of what you need. On a $250,000 home, 3% down is $7,500. That's it. That is not a small number, and I understand that, but it's not $50,000 either. And for a lot of buyers, that money is already sitting in either a savings account or you get it from a tax refund. They just didn't know that it was enough. What number were you told you needed to save? Drop it in the comments. I want to see what people have been told. Lie number 2, your credit has to be perfect. The number I hear most often is 700. People believe they need a 700 credit score or higher before a lender will even talk to them. That's not accurate. FHA loans go down to 580 and the standard 3.5% down. Some lenders work with scores as low as 500, in specific situations. Even conventional loans have more flexibility today than they've had in the recent past. If your score is below 600, you may be closer to ready than you think. The only way to know for sure is to have a real conversation with a lender, not Google. Lie number 3, you need to be debt-free first. I hear this one from people who have student loans, car payments, credit card balances, and they say, Robert, I need to pay all of this off before I even think about buying. I understand that instinct, but it's not how mortgage approvals work. What lenders look at is called your debt to income ratio. It is the percentage of your gross monthly income that goes towards debt payments. If that number is under a certain threshold, you can qualify, even with existing debt. Having debt does not disqualify you. Having too much debt relative to your income might slow you down, but it does not mean stop. It means let's make a plan. Lie number 4, now is a bad time to buy. Every year I have been doing this, I've heard some version of this. Rates are too high. Prices are too high. The market is going to crash. Wait for things to calm down. Well, here's the truth. The best time to buy is when you're financially ready and when you plan to live in the home long enough for it to make sense. If you buy a home and stay in it for at least 5 years, the odds are very much in your favor that you'll come out ahead. You're not trying to time the market like a stock trader. You are building a home for your most valuable asset, you and your family. Those are 2 completely different goals. Now that we've talked about the lie, let me tell you the 3 mistakes I see buyers make because of it. Mistake number 1, waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment does not exist. Every season has a reason not to buy. High rates, high prices, economic uncertainty. If you wait for perfect, you'll be renting in 10 years from now, telling yourself you're almost ready. Mistake number 2, trying to figure it all out alone. Home buying is not a solo project. The people who struggle most are the ones who spend months researching online, building up fear, and never actually talking to a professional. A 20-minute conversation with a lender can tell you more than 40 hours on YouTube, and that's including this video as well. I know it feels safer to keep researching when something feels this big. You want to be sure. I get that, but information without action is just more waiting. Mistake number 3, assuming rejection before applying. I have had clients who were certain they wouldn't qualify. They had been through hard times, divorce, job loss, medical bills. They walked in expecting to hear no, and they walked out with a pre-approval letter. Don't let your fear make the decision for you. Let the process do its job. Before I wrap up, I want to clear up 2 things I hear constantly. Myth number 1, talking to a lender means you are committing to buying. Calling a lender is just a conversation. There's no obligation, no commitment. It does not affect your credit unless you formally apply. It is just information. You walk away knowing exactly where you stand. That's it. Myth number 2, renting is safer than buying. I understand why renting feels safer. Less risk, less responsibility. But let me ask you this. What happens to your rent in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years? Yeah, that's right. It goes up. Every time it goes up. You have less money, less savings, and still nothing to show for it. Renting is not risk-free. It just shifts the risk in a direction most people do not notice until it's too late. Here's what I want you to walk away with today. You don't need 20% down. You don't need a perfect credit score. You don't need to be debt-free. And you don't need to wait for a better time. What you need is accurate information and a clear picture of where you stand. In about 60 seconds, I'm going to give you one specific thing to do this week. It's small, it's free, and it might change everything. If you've been carrying any of these beliefs, I want you to do one thing this week. Just one. Have a conversation with a lender. Not to commit to anything, not to sign anything, just to find out what is true for your specific situation. If you want that conversation to be with me, the link is in the top pinned comment and the description of this video. We will walk through your situation, figure out where you are, and map out a realistic path forward. No pressure, no pitch, just clarity. You deserve to know what is actually possible for you and your family, not what someone told you that was applicable more than 20 years ago, not what a headline made you feel, what is actually true for you right now. If you're ready to take the next step and achieve your goal of home ownership, I would love to have a conversation with you. Why? I'm a lender. My NMLS license number is 180100, and my contact information is pinned in the top comment and in the description of this video. My time is up, but I thank you for yours. As I always say, guys, let's be good to one another. Let grace abound. Watch these next two videos. They'll help you in your education as you prepare to become a homeowner. And for the rest of you, indeed, y'all stay blessed.